All right, what's good, brothers? What's good? It's your man King Ray Ray. Let's get ready to have a phenomenal show, do some phenomenal things. Phrase, what's good, brothers? P.S. Woe, Moses, Charleston, Nestor, Cool Rob, Cool J, Forcefield. Salute, brothers. Let's get the people a few minutes to get up in the joint, man, before we dive into this topic. It's a phenomenal topic for us today, and we're going to enjoy the process of discussing this one. So let's get the people a few minutes to get in the joint, man, and then we'll go ahead. Let me do some branding changes up in here, man. A couple of things that need to take place here. All right. Waiting for the brothers to get in, man. Let's give them about 2 or 3 minutes. Hope everyone has been having a blessed existence, man, to start this week off. Let's uh let's continue, man, to give ourselves the respect and give God the honor and glory for all of the things that we've been able to accomplish in our lives and the fact that we have, in fact, been able to find our peace. We have been able to find that thing that floats our boat, that gives us undeniable appreciation for the life that we live. AJ Shaka TV, salute. Quay, peace to you, my brother. We're going to give people, man, just a couple of more minutes to get in, man, before we go ahead and do our thing, man. Agua, H2O. Have to have it. Only way to clear the skin is to put the H2O in. Put the H2O in. GC, salute, brother, salute. Ripping in the dentist chair, man. I got to make a trip in there, man, next week myself, man. Go finish up the mixtape, man, and then be right back here in the dentist chair, man. Philip M. Riggins, salute to you. Welcome to the kingdom of Ray, man. Salute. The space where kings are built, made, and maintained, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. I know this is an early one, man. We're trying a few different things, man. Trying to find the right zone for the King Ray Ray joint. We working, man. We working. Flams, salute my brother. Blessings, man. Blessings. Blessings upon blessings to the members of the kingdom, man. We decided to live a life that the people around us don't really understand or want to understand, and they don't really appreciate the effort and energy that it takes for us to live this life. But we live it because we know the blessings that come with it. It gives us a certain satisfaction. And that's why today we're going to discuss why you're not happy and how to invite joy into your life. Because, see, a lot of times we don't understand joy has to be invited into your life. Joy isn't just running around saying, here's some joy for you, here's some joy for you. Joy has to be invited into your life. And how do you invite joy into your life? By eliminating the things that are oppositional to joy. Negative energy, oppositional to joy. Evil intent, oppositional to joy. Jezebel energy with all of those different men's spirit, oppositional to joy. Living in any manner that causes you to not embrace the true essence of who you are, oppositional to joy. Overindulging in that train in the background. It's many times I come on, we never hear a train. That train in the background, oppositional to our joy right now. Fortunately for us, the trains only blow the horns like that. They only ride the horn when they're first entering into a crossroads. So once they get past the crossroad, they let off the horn, so we won't hear that horn anymore. So, and I was joking about that, man. It's just a part of life. You know, you're going to hear train horns, car horns, dogs barking, all types of things. So I want y'all to understand one thing, man, on a serious note. Happiness is not as hard to find or have or hold on to as people make it out to be. The main problem with most people is that they're too concerned with other people's opinions. Much too concerned with other people's opinions. You know, and my outlook on other people's opinions is this: their opinion is based on their experience, not yours. Now, if someone has gone through something that you're going through and you want to get some insight from them, totally normal, totally fine. I've done that. I do that. I will do that continually throughout my life. And as you mature and you cover more ground in life, you end up needing to ask about fewer things because you have those experiences yourself. So you become you stop being such a sponge of information and you start to be a wealth of information. And I want you guys to understand, man, the reason most people don't have realistic goal setting is because they're too concerned about other people's opinion. I give you an example. I was consulting with a chick, man, and she was saying her boyfriend is in college and he wants to get a horticulture degree because he that's what he loves. He loves that. And the job that he wants to get out of college is going to pay him $40,000 a year, which is above the average income per capita in the United States and most other countries. But she said she tried to get him to have more ambition and think about making more money. Now, here's a situation where a woman can have you going away from what you want to do. See, we don't want to make more money in something that's similar to what we want to do or something in the field of what we want to do. We want to do what we want to do because that particular thing brings us joy. If you want to be a basketball player, being a football player ain't going to bring you the same joy, even though you may have the talent to be a fairly good football player, but it's not the talent and the know-how and the will to be the NBA superstar you could be. Most of us have no definition of happiness of our own. If you put 100 people in a room and ask them all what happiness means, I guarantee you at least 98 of those people are going to say something that has something to do with societal expectations, societal norms, or even worse than that, something materialistic. I can almost guarantee it that the majority of the people in that room are going to say something materialistic. You know, I want a big house and a bar, or I want to make this amount of money. They're going to start off talking about career and money and all of those things. Let me tell you what the problem with that is. That's not your idea of what happiness is. It was either taught to you as a child or you've been brainwashed by society's norms and expectations via social media, mass media, and of course the trick box. The problem with looking at other people's idea and definition of happiness is that no one owes you any happiness assistance. All of the people who tell you what happiness is, how much happiness assistance are they going to give you? When your parents pay for your education, they're not giving you any happiness assistance. They're helping you down the path that they want to send you down. That's their happiness. That's where the term living vicariously through you comes from. Living vicariously through someone is seeking your happiness at their expense, having someone work on your happiness. That makes no sense because no one owes you any happiness assistance throughout your life. No one owes you to come and say, hey, what makes you happy? Let me help you get that. Who owes you that? Who has told you that? But here's the caveat. Here's the catch 22 to that. Here's the wonderful part of that people forget about. The same way no one owes you any happiness assistance, no one deserves to define your happiness nor the path to that happiness. So you got to stop making your path to happiness something that someone told you. You got all these people out here, man, stressing out because they want a bigger house that they can't afford. They want a bigger car that they can't afford. They want a bigger this that they can't afford. They want a bigger bank account that they don't make the type of money to establish, or they got so much money going out doing so many things. You got a bunch of people getting 50, 60, 70, $100,000 in debt for a college education in a field that they don't even like. Why? Because someone has told them what their happiness is and told them the path to that happiness. No, man, let me tell you something. It's 2021. No one's path to happiness end at having a good job. We already know what that means. It means having a position where you can solidify your ability to contribute to someone else's wealth. None of us should have that. That should only be a means to an end. Your end goal should not be to have a good job. One of your stepping stones towards your end goal could be to have a good job, to help raise the money to fund your eventual dream. But let's be realistic. What we're talking about is people being in a situation where they live their lives pursuing the happiness that someone else told them is happiness. The only problem is it doesn't make you happy. Many of us are pursuing things that simply aren't for us. There are people in college struggling through college. I'm talking about the poor they have their head, man, because they ain't even like high school that much. But now they're struggling through college because someone told them the only route to happiness, the only route to financial freedom, the only route to financial success and independence is through college. Well, guess what? Most people who went to college don't have financial independence or financial freedom without something else on the outside. Most people who went to college have another form of income that gives them financial freedom. Whatever they went to college for does not give them that financial freedom. It may put them in a decent position where they can live in a nice area and do it. That's not financial freedom. Financial freedom can't be attained if you are in a mountain of debt. There is no financial freedom for someone in a mountain of debt. Bankruptcy. That's your financial freedom, bankruptcy. I'm talking about chapter 7 where you get rid of all of it. That's your financial freedom. But you gotta be in dire circumstance to file a chapter 7. Anybody can't just go file a chapter 7 like it was once upon a time. So when we talk about financial freedom, we have to understand that many people don't know what that is. Many people think that means having the money to spend whatever you want to spend. No, financial freedom means that you don't have to buy into anyone's normal expectation of you, and you can still live the life you want to live. There are people who have to wear a uniform every day to work. I don't knock that. That's cool. If I had a company, I want you to represent my company too. If you work for me, put on this uniform. Let everybody know when you're out there, you represent me. When you walk into another company, they should know you represent me. But that's not my goal. I can leave out of here right now, man, with this dashiki on and go wherever I want to go. With the dashiki and the kufi on and go wherever I want to go. As a matter of fact, when I'm done with this stream, I'm going to the bank. Like this. Why? Because I'm free. Many people don't understand the more you enslave yourself, the less happy you'll be. So when you're pursuing things that simply aren't for you, you therefore aren't equipped to enjoy or appreciate those things. No one can appreciate being in $150,000 worth of college debt. No one can appreciate that. You can only appreciate that while you're still in school, where you can defer the loan payments or something like that. But once you out of school and they come aggressively after you, man, you got to send them people $2,000, $2,500 a month. It ain't the same no more. There is no joy in being a slave to a system that's meant to keep you enslaved. The problem is the simple things in life are taken for granted. We all take the simple things in life for granted. That's why I grab my cameras. That's why I grab my cameras and go out and shoot animals, birds, dogs, cats, squirrels, the sun, the moon, the trees, a hummingbird, a bumblebee. Because if you keep in touch with the beauty of the world, then you come to understand that life is simple. You go to some of these cultures, man, where their life is simple, man, those people are hella happy. They ain't got no trick box. They ain't got no internet. They ain't got no Wi-Fi. They ain't got none of that. Those people chilling. Some of these cultures don't even have cell phones, man. You know why? Because they ain't got nobody to call. Everybody they know live where they live. And those people are absolutely happy. You know why? Because people understand that life is simple. Complications are what stress you out, rob you of your joy. Many men are perfectly content, perfectly happy, perfectly full of lives are full of joy when they're single. Then this society tells you you need to tie yourself into a scenario, man, where someone else tells you, hey, that's what you need to do. That's a man does this. Hey, man, a man does what he has to do to maintain his peace of mind, his character, and his joy. That's what a man does. A man doesn't listen to what someone tells him if it's going to take him away from any of those three things. Peace of mind, character, and joy. You got to have those things. So someone tells you, man, you take a mistake and you add a mistake to a mistake. And that's going to make you happy. Life is not about correcting your mistakes. You can't correct a mistake. Once a mistake is made, it's made. You learn from it so you don't make it again. Whenever you're trying to correct the things you've done, you look at it in the rearview mirror. There is no happiness in the rearview mirror. There's only time wasted looking in the rearview mirror. Nobody's ever been going forward in life and run over something behind them. You can't run over something behind you if you're going forward. If you run over something behind you, you're going backwards. You can't have people around you who keep you tied to the past. Nor can you have people around you who try to design your future. Which means that the only people who can be around you are people who are on board with what you deem to be your happiness. Young men are struggling right now with being in their parents' household. They're 20, 21 years old. They're not financially situated to move out, but they want to move out because they're going down a path they don't want to go down because their parents are living vicariously through them. And as a free man out here, that's joy. It's joy to not have that pressure. It's joy to not be in somebody's house and have to live by their rules and have to let them govern your life. You know how much joy you should have just to be a free man? You know how much joy you should have just to have peace of mind in your home? If you got a son or a daughter, you know how much joy you should have, man, to know that that kid looks at you like a superhero? I had to stay in position, man, where I can at least, if somebody run up on me, man, I had to at least be able to, man, talking about go hard and scrap them out. Like it had to be a real dog fight going on because my son think I can't be beat. He thinks I'm a superhero. There's no pressure on me to prove that, but I at least want to make sure I'm in a position where I represent like the superhero that I am. Because even I feel like I'm a superhero. I'm glad he understands it. I'm glad I don't have to convince him that I'm a superhero. He knows it already. So between the two of us, we both know a superhero. And that's joy. Even if you're old enough, man, you got a grandchild, man, to see your grandkid, man, just smile up in your face. Come on, brothers. There's a life out here that we're overlooking because we're trying to enjoy what other people say enjoy. You hear me saying, man, don't have no woman around you. You should never have no woman. Nobody should have a woman. Hey, man, if a woman fits the bill and plays the part that you want her to play in your life, then yes, have her in your life. There's joy in that. You have guys saying, okay, man, no matter how much money you make, don't blow your money on a car. Don't buy this, don't buy that. Hey, man, if you're doing everything you can to do to make the money you need to make, man, you want to buy yourself something nice, buy yourself something nice. There's joy in that. There's joy in rewarding yourself with something nice. All these extremes that are being pushed on us in this society. Don't do this. Just do all that all the time. Never do that. No matter what, stay away from it. Even if it seems like it's going to work, don't do it anyway, because you shouldn't do it. All of these extremes we live by in this society. Yes, you want to invest your money. Yes, you want to grow your finances. Yes, you want to have a nest egg. Yes, you want to have something for a rainy day. Yes, you want to have a positive net worth, but you do not want to starve yourself out from rewarding yourself if you want to. Use the rule of tens. If something costs more than 10% of your net worth, don't buy it. Meaning, if you buy a $60,000 vehicle, you should be worth $600,000. If you buy a $100,000 home, you should be worth $1 million. That's the best rule of thumb. That's a rich man's rule of thumb. If it costs more than 10% of what you got, if you can't pay cash for it, don't get it. Even if you get it on credit, just so you can build your credit score, don't even get it on credit. Don't even get it in your name if you can't afford to pay cash for it. You should be able to say, okay, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want this note. Let me go write these people a check for this. That's rich talk. Anybody can build a nest egg. We're talking about the talk of a man who understands that working hard deserves some joy too. You don't have to just work. You can give yourself some joy. Your life is your life. Because here's the thing. No matter what somebody tell you, if you hit rock bottom and you ain't got nothing, ain't nobody gonna come run and say, hey man, what it take to take care of your children, man? Yeah, what it take care of you? What you do for your mama, man? Okay, I got that for you too. All right, man. What your bills are? Okay, I got that for you too. You can't even get people to put together a fund to help guys like that. There's no fund for you. As a man, you have to do what you have to do out here in the world to bring yourself joy, because no one cares whether you're happy or not. People only care what you can contribute to their joy, even if it means sacrificing your own. As we struggle to keep up with societal norms, we take the simple things in life for granted and miss out on the joys thereof. You may see me go somewhere, man. I may shoot some pictures from somewhere, man, overlooking a lake, a river, off a mountain, overlooking a golf course. I do that not because I want to flex or do anything like that, because that brings me joy. It brings me joy to just pick a place that I want to go there and spend a week or two there. That brings me joy. It may bring somebody else joy to go buy 10 houses and jump into the rental market. I don't want to rent. I'd rather flip. Somebody else may say, oh, I hate flipping houses. I'd rather rent. Fine. Do what brings you joy. No matter what facet of life we're talking about, do what brings you joy. Like they say, man, in the old days, man, there's more than one way to skin a cat, man. Let's say there's more than one way to skin a catfish. There's more than one way to skin a catfish, man. You got to keep in mind, brothers, that your life is based on your goals and your ability to achieve those goals. That's where your joy comes from. But what are your goals? God-fearing warrior, appreciate $10 super chat. Blessing King Ray, blessing Alpha King's about to work out. I'll catch you on the playback. Salute, bro. It'll be here. Peaceful Pulley, appreciate $10 super chat, man. B Ross, appreciate the $4 super chat. Now, another thing is this, man. There's too much trick box. We've gone from the television trick box to the smaller computer trick box to the even smaller laptop trick box. Now we're at the cell phone trick box. What are you doing when you're online? Are you watching things and consuming things that help you move forward and get closer to your goal? Or are you just doing a bunch of rambling, a bunch of just hanging out online, watching a bunch of nonsensical things? Like, what are you doing? All of the societal norms and the foolishness and nonsense that we come across are all come from what we see online these days. The way women act these days, they're repeating the behavior they see online. You have guys who are out here committing crimes, who are posting it online or talking about it online. You have guys who are really, really aiming to hurt one another or even eliminate one another, arguing back and forth online, and then one of them comes up missing or deceased. Evil is all around us. We have to navigate how we use the evil, or how we use the places where the evil is, because I tell people this all the time. Everything that's used for righteousness can also be used for evil, which means everything that's used for bad can also be used for good. Everything. People can use the Bible for evil. It happens all the time. I was talking to this church broad one time, man, and she was saying that their pastor or bishop, as they call him, would get up in the pulpit before he started preaching and call people out by name if they hadn't paid their tithes, man. I want y'all to think about that. He would call people out by name in front of the congregation. Man, we talking about a church with 2,500 to 3,000 members, man. Huge church. And he would call people out by name. And here's the thing about being called out by name. Out of 2,500, 3,000 people, all of them don't know you. But when they call your name, the people around you that know you, gonna look at you. You know what else gonna happen? The people around them gonna look at you. And you know what else gonna happen? Everybody around them gonna look at you. Before you know it, the whole congregation is looking at you. And the people that can't look at you is trying to look up and see if they can look at you. Using the Bible as evil to embarrass and shame people because they didn't give you your money, which means you are using that money for your own personal gain. And you are mad that these people did not pay their portion to your happiness. There we go with that word happiness again. Back to your happiness. There are people who won't even go in the church, man, because they ain't got the money to pay their tithes, man. There are people who will change churches because they can't afford to pay tithes at that church no more, and they don't want the embarrassment of the people knowing that they make less money. The pressure of society is the main thing that robs you of your joy. That's why you have to stay away from it. You have to be what they call self-centered. You have to be what they call self-serving. You have to be what they call selfish. They might even call you narcissistic because you think the world revolves around you. Well, guess what? In your world, it does. The only way you can find joy in this life is to make sure that your world revolves around you. Now, are there people that are going to benefit from that? Yes. Do you care if people benefit from that? No. Anyone who could benefit from it, benefit from it. There are going to be people around you who benefit from it, but those people are also going to be contributing to it. Anyone who contributes to your happiness should reap some of the benefits of that happiness. You can't have all the happiness to yourself. It's enough happiness for everybody. If you're truly happy and you're truly living in a joyous existence, then there's enough happiness and joy to go around for the people who are around you, man. But you cannot ever sacrifice your own happiness to do what someone else wants you to do. See, let me tell you what it is, man. It's so easy to follow what society says. It's so easy to follow what society says because it doesn't take any sense of direction. It doesn't take any sense of direction. All you have to do is listen and go. Okay, close your eyes. Now stand up. Okay, now sit down. Okay, now turn to your right. Okay, now turn to your left. You can do all of that with your eyes closed. Leadership takes focus. And I'm talking about being a leader of self. You have to resist the temptation to fit into the box. You have to resist the temptation to line up in the single file line with all the other sheeple. You have to resist the temptation to be accepted by everyone. You have to resist the temptation to be liked by anyone. Your joy is a path that you must travel alone. There are going to be people there along the way, but it is a path, a journey that you must go on alone. And if there are 10,000 people on your journey with you, it is another journey to your joy. You 10,000 people are on a journey to bring someone else joy and happiness. Just because everybody does it doesn't make it normal. It just makes it acceptable. Abnormal has always been accepted. No more than today. Today is one of the times where the most abnormalities have been accepted by a society. So just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean, I suggest that if everyone's doing it, you don't do it. Because everyone ain't smart enough to do something good. Everyone ain't righteous enough to do something right. And that's just the reality of it, man. David Evans, salute, brother. Appreciate the $5 super chat, man. The reality of this life is this, man. You can't be doing all of this wishful thinking and fantasizing, because wishful thinking and fantasizing only lead to a fantasy world. There is no joy in a fantasy. There is no fulfillment in a fantasy. The joy comes from the reality of life. The fulfillment comes from reaching realistic goals that you have set, because you are digging into yourself internally and understanding what it is that moves you. Understand what it is that makes you tick. Understand what it is that makes your boat float. You have to look into yourself internally. There are many men living lives that they hate. That's why so many men are always at the shake joint. That's why so many men are always drinking all this liquor. That's why so many men are using all these drugs. Anytime you're using psychotropics as recreational drugs, you have mental issues that you don't want to go get diagnosed about, so you just self-medicate. If you feel the need to be high, it's because you're so low. If you feel the need to be drunk, it's because you're so miserable. If you feel the need to be over-sexualized, it's because you're so dissatisfied. And there is no joy in any of those things. There's no joy in those. People want, well, why are you living here? Well, if you were successful, then you be living in a big pretty house. No, a woman wants to move in a big pretty house by herself. A single woman wants to live in a $1 million home by herself, just to show the world that she can make it without a man, and she can do whatever she want to do. As a logical, reasonable, prudent human being with wisdom, understanding, knowledge, why would you do that? It's just me. Why would I have a $750,000 to $1 million home and it's just me? It don't matter how much money I make. To me, the dwelling itself is irrelevant. The area is better for me. If, let's say, we both gonna live in San Diego, it's just me, but you got a family. You and your family got a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath home. Me, it's just me. You know what I got? I got a 2-bedroom condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo overlooking the beach, where every morning I wake up, man, I look out the window, I can't even see the land. I wake up, look out the window, I just see the water out there. You live the life that you want to live. You understand? Like, you know, for me, man, I don't like cutting grass. I don't want to cut grass. I don't want to do it. For me, it's a waste of time. I don't want to do it. And here's the thing. I know rich women. I'm talking about filthy rich. I know rich couples where the woman will not let nobody touch her yard. I'm talking about, man, you know, she got a landscape crew that come in. Man, I'm talking about people, man, with 25 acres. The woman want to get out there, man. She want to ride the tractor, man. She want to cut her own grass. She want to cut it all. She'll get a chainsaw. She want to cut as much of the limbs as she can. Every day she's out there in her yard because that's her baby. The problem is the majority of us have women who got to get up and go to work. So they don't have these green fingers. They don't want to get out there and take care of their yard. They don't want to get out there and do these things. But as a man, you do what brings you joy. See, here's the thing. You can't shame me for nothing that I like, and you can't shame me for nothing that I don't like. You understand what I'm saying? You can't. You just can't. You can't. You simply can't. There are things I used to do. You know what I'm saying? I used to cut my grass years ago. I used to wash my cars years ago. Man, I'm not finna wash no car. There are people who do that. There are people who do that, and I don't mind contributing to someone's business. I respect entrepreneurs. That's the difference. I'm going to do that because I respect entrepreneurs. If you work a job, then you probably don't view that way. But I do it because I respect entrepreneurs. I see an entrepreneur riding around with that big tank on the back of a truck with a trailer, man, and he got all these different gadgets, man, and he can come and just pull up and wash my whips, man, while I'm just chilling, working. Hey, man, come on, bro. Come on, let me see who else I can recommend you to. And I'm calling people I know saying, hey, man, I got this guy, man, Terry, man. I mean, he be banging. When y'all see my whips, man, and they be clean, Terry does it, man. Let me give you his number. Y'all call Terry, man. So before you know it, you're perpetuating the entrepreneur spirit. But that's just my thing. If you want to wash your car, cut your grass, put the roof on your house, do all of these things, fine. I prefer to cook my own meals. So I ain't going to go to many restaurants. Someone else may go to those restaurants. It doesn't matter. You see how simple it can be? How you can listen to people and not find joy in your life because you're too busy trying to do what people say is the thing you ought to be doing. And I try not to do that. I try not to look at people and say, okay, if you do this, then you shouldn't do that. Now, there are certain things that don't bring men joy at all. Now, we know that there are certain things that don't bring men joy unless they're confused. You understand? Like being a drug addict doesn't bring anybody joy. Being an alcoholic doesn't bring anybody joy. Chasing and pursuing 100 scallywags doesn't bring anybody joy. You have an issue with understanding what joy is under those circumstances. But in real life, you have to do the small things that bring you joy. The small things that bring you joy. And it brings me joy to help other entrepreneurs. What does it bring you joy to do? Here we are with that ease of being a follower versus the difficulty of being a leader of self. If you lead yourself, you're going to lead yourself to your joy. If you follow someone else, you're going to follow them to their joy. No one is going to lead you to your joy because your joy doesn't serve the same purpose for them. Even a woman in your life can't lead you to your joy. She can follow you to your joy. She can't lead you. That's why I don't understand why any man will follow the lead of a woman. A woman is never going to lead you to your joy. A woman don't care about your joy. A woman wants you to find joy in giving her joy. Your job doesn't want you to find your entrepreneurial joy. Your job wants you to find joy in helping them maintain their entrepreneurial joy. Your pastor doesn't want you to find spiritual joy. He wants you to find joy in helping him find his spiritual joy or his religious joy. Like the story about the tithes, where he called you out about the tithes. He don't care about your bills. Pay your tithes so he can pay his bills. Marcus Sneed, appreciate the $50 sponsorship, my brother, sponsoring the show today. Salute to you. See, here's the thing, man. Just being able to go to a grocery store and buy whatever you want to buy should bring you joy. Because many people in this society can't. Just being able to go outside and pick which vehicle works for what you need to do. That's a luxury, man. That should bring you joy. To have something big enough to travel in comfortably is a joy. To have something you could do a little work in without having to talk to somebody and borrow their truck is a joy. Having something you can ride in that don't burn up your pockets with gas, that you can drive every day, is a joy. Having a camera right here I can do live streams on, and then having another camera I can shoot birds on, and then having another camera that I carry with me when I want to shoot videos out in public or in my vehicle. It's a joy. I don't take these things for granted. I don't take them. Having peace of mind where every time you guys hear me record, you don't hear nobody nagging me. You don't hear nobody coming at me sideways. You don't hear nobody trying to rush me off so I can give my time to them. That's joy. Being able to open my refrigerator, man, and eat whatever I want to eat, man, that's joy. Having family members, those who have supported me, man, throughout my grind, call me when they need something, and to know it's nothing. It's joy. Being able to come on here and talk to you, men, and we sitting here middle of the day like this, man, where other people can't do this. It's a joy. And our joy isn't a knock on anyone, because maybe their joy is not to do this. Every little thing is joy. Every little thing is joy. Every little thing you can achieve or accomplish is joy. You have to make sure you stay in tune with what brings you joy. And the last but not least thing at all is that many people don't have a relationship with God. Many people don't want to have a relationship with God. Even some people who say there is no God, they believe there is evil, but they don't believe there is any righteousness, because without God, there is no righteousness. When you have no relationship with God, you can't have internal validation. And the only thing that leads to peace of mind is internal validation. You have to be internally validated in order to have peace of mind. Without internal validation, there is no peace of mind, because peace of mind is founded on internal validation. There is no other way that you could ever have peace of mind unless you found it on your own internal validation. Otherwise, it's virtually impossible for you to get. You won't get it. You can't get it. Forget about it. Your relationship with God is necessary for internal validation and peace of mind. That's why when you see men who chase all of these different things, all of these material things, all of these different women, all of these different joys, all of these different pleasures. When I say joys, I mean fake joys that are actually just pleasures, these physical pleasures, these mental pleasures, these emotional pleasures. Anytime you're a chaser of pleasure, it's because you don't have any internal validation. So you need to feel good externally, because you don't know how to feel good internally. That's why you're getting high on psychotropics every day. That's why you're drinking alcohol until you pass out every day. That's why you're chasing all of these different physical thrills and physical trills with these women, because you, my son, have not embraced your internal validation based on your relationship with God, because you don't think you should have one. And that is the travesty. If you want joy, you had better start paying attention to yourself. Dig deep inside. Find the thing you have a passion for. Let that be the foundation of your goal setting. Look deep inside. Find those things that you absolutely abhor. Let those things be the foundation of what you set as the path you should never go down. Look deep within inside yourself and ask yourself, how many people around you do you actually appreciate because of the effort and energy to help move you along the path that you need to move on, and eliminate those who don't. You have the right to do that. The same way you have the right to embrace who you want to embrace, you have the right to eliminate who you want to eliminate. Don't stay stuck in the societal expectations of happiness and joy, because you will be on your deathbed a miserable man. And instead of smiling about the life you lived, you'll be wishing it had ended sooner, to shorten the amount of time that you were absolutely miserable in your existence in a place that could be absolutely joyous. Find your happiness. Find your joy, my brothers. No one else will do it for you, and they shouldn't. I appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. Salute to my brothers SJ3, D Flemings. GC was in earlier, man. He's sitting in the dentist chair. Salute to y'all brothers, man, for doing what you do, man. Marcus Sneed again, man. I appreciate the sponsorship of the show. David Evans, I appreciate the super chat. B Ross, Peaceful Pulley, God-fearing warrior. I appreciate all you men, man. I appreciate all the kingdom, the kings of the kingdom being in here for another episode of the King Ray Ray Show. I am your host, the honorable and honored King Ray Ray. I see y'all same time again tomorrow, man. Let's make this thing consistent, and let's make it constant. Y'all put God first and keep grinding and growing, my brothers. Peace.